Welcome back to day 93 of our chess journey to 1500 ELO on chess.com. Can we do it today, guys? Can we hit 1450? Let's jump on ahead and find an opponent. We get Pisquies Französisch something. It's a player from France. I suspect FR means French or France or something. This at least has to be the most French name I've seen in a while. We get some interesting kind of a London. I think we'll come up here, and if we play this, I think this is a move I recently looked at in a daily game, which seems to have pretty good stats against the London. Let's go c5, which is typically a quite good move against the London. We can come up with a knight here. d5 might be a move as well, but let's come up here first. If takes, we take, and we get ready to castle. This is not a move now. Can we take here? This would force an imbalance. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you might know I really do love my imbalances. Although, I do like my bishop pairs as well. This or this wins the bishop here. What happens here? That's not as clear. h6 might be a move, looking to play this, but is it too slow or does it work? Honestly, it does take away some important squares from our opponent. So I'd like to argue for playing this, although a lot of our setup here has revolved around being able to take here, for example. Once again, let's have a look at this. Here, 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 we take in one way or another with a knight. The center is going to open up because of this tension, I suspect, so I don't mind grabbing the bishop. If this we take, and I mean the rook could open up, would leave this e-pawn quite vulnerable though. So here maybe this, but still we get the bishop, and it's going to be difficult to utilize this file with the king being on g2. So now I've played one of the quickest openings in a while, at least one of the quickest non-Najdorf openings, because Najdorfs tend to be at least 5 free moves, as long as we play for it. Trying to save some time here and play more accurately in the middle game, which is typically where our time tends to run out. I feel like just about every endgame we've been playing on this channel has been played with very little time on the clock. This, I think, allows us to take. Our opponent can't take. This is a check. So this and this is what's going to happen most likely. What happens there? Maybe we should have pushed d5. Although this might not be that scary. Let's have a look here. I see this move. Hitting this. If the pawn is pushed, I guess we win this pawn. and threaten to win this if this, 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 and this we just take, and our pawn structure seems to be quite solid. So let's take here. Oh, we have to move the knight. Oops. Don't mind me, Dave. I know you tend to mention my knight blindness. This is one of those times. Still, we do have this resource coming back here and hitting the pawn, forcing it to make a decision. If it takes, this just looks quite solid. And if it pushes, I think we're going to win the pawn. So let's come back. Now this pawn is hanging. Our opponent has to make a decision. So what do? They take, we will take, and well, if this is played, I don't think we mind. We're not quite castled, but that's not an issue as of yet at least, although it could become an issue at some point. Currently what I'm looking at here is this or this, opening up our bishop and hitting this pawn. And I think we would welcome seeing this move to defend the pawn, as it would be quite weakening. This knight could come in here at some point. Our opponent wants an endgame. This. Well, this is not really a threat here. Let's have a quick look. This looks like an outpost. It might even be an outpost. We can't go here now because takes, and we have to mess up our pawns. Here, we hit this. The knight might have to defend it. I don't expect this to be good. Don't play f6. Ben Feingold would scream. Here, and there is this, and our rook is kind of awkward. So honestly, I think I prefer this, and then we meet this with this maybe. Still, our king is kind of in the center of the board, but let's hope that's just temporary. I don't see this, or does it work? I think I prefer hitting the pawn and doing something concrete with our move. As I mentioned, if this is played, we got some pretty nice holes here to pressure, and we could even take here, and those pawns might become quite weak. We are checked. I did not see this. That's unfortunate. I think king to e7 seems to be first. We can't block. Then what happens here? This might be a continuation. I mean, it's not ideal having our king on e7, but it might not be the end of the world. Don't want to push here, I'm realizing. Once again, Dave, I'm seeing it now. You might be screaming out. Knight blindness once again. Let's come up. This looks forced. We get this, which I didn't quite consider. And now we have to make a decision. I don't think we want this, because then this becomes an issue. So it's either going to be this move or this move. I think I prefer taking with the bishop here to close down the position for the time being. Although there is some merit in this as well. This might be a move at some point, although it's not yet. Let's take with the bishop. We can't kick this knight out. Might have to play g6 and play like this, as long as we have enough moves to do so. I'm realizing this comes with this threat now, which I didn't see earlier on. So maybe we should have taken with a rook. Yeah, this is not quite ideal. Hopefully we find a way of getting out of this. Oh, this is a great move. If we take, there is a fork. However, we might be able to decide to not take. I think I like our bishop here actually. We hit the pawn. If it moves, we might even control this square from c2, for example. And this controls g6. So we can maybe push here, and the knight does not have this fork. Or we could come to e4 and lose our bishop in one move. I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. For some reason I'm missing some quite obvious tactics here. However, is this a move now? I didn't consider this until now, but this might be decent. If we get this, I guess we take. Or we take like this. No, we don't. Take, 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 take. This is a lot more complicated than it's got any reason to be. Is this a move? Honestly, this might be quite decent. There is this check, but I guess we dodge it. This opens up this, connects our rooks then. It's somewhat of a gangster move, just walking up in front of our pawns here. As I mentioned, this would be the obvious threat. Are we worried about it? Are we worried? So it's either this or this, but this looks more developmental, I guess. Developmental. It's going to help us develop. But I just wanted to calculate this first, because it seems like it comes with a concrete threat. If it works, it works. The thought here was coming like this. Then this was annoying, but we just dodge it. Not there though. This takes. No, we're not up a piece here. This does look annoying though. I don't want to lose a pawn. So let's go here, which I didn't quite see that many backsides with, or downsides rather. There is this, of course, and we come here maybe, and if takes, we don't have the bishop here, but we do get out of some troubles here. This d7 square is an obvious issue. Although now we can take here, for example, in some positions at least. If this is played, I think we have this. Maybe. We have to calculate this every move. This. The bishop coming out. We don't want to come here because this seems loose and it blocks our pieces. Takes. Here there might even be an argument for going takes and takes like this. Still, I think g6 might be a good resource, because currently this bishop is not that good of a resource, but if we get onto this diagonal, it might become a beast. This is played though. The issue here is if a rook comes. Or is it an issue though? I don't think it is. Takes. And if this is played, I don't think we mind this. We come out with the last rook, and I guess we're out of the woods. I don't think I like this as much now. Or do I? It seems nice having this connect 4 with a pawn on d4, but this is a move here. Oh, this is a fork as well. So we can't take with the pawn, because then this is played. Or well, honestly it works, because takes, and this move I guess, and we come up here. Does the knight have any moves here? I guess coming back is annoying, but then we can infiltrate here. But then there is this. So honestly, let's take with the rook instead to try to avoid some issues. Still, this might be an idea. I don't think I mind playing like this though, because it would complement our dark squared bishop. This is played. Here I calculated this. However, once again, this is an issue. Or is it? I think we just push here in that case. And prepare for this, which looks good. The knight is incredibly annoying, but we can't target it just now. I think this is quite forced. Our king here is protecting f7, which is important. I would like to get the knight out of our position here, but we'll have to see what we can do about it. This. And as we've been mentioning, we intend to play like this, if given the chance to. I don't think this is good. Let's come here. This. Oh, now we can't come here actually because of the knight. It seems this knight is just going to be annoying this game. Not too much we can do about it. At least not much that I've seen so far. I think this is good for us though. Now we come here. There is no infiltration. Our rooks cover, or our rook singular covers the back rank. This seems good. And we can play with our pawn majority. This is not really a threat. I think I like b5 here, playing for this. This is an idea as well, although I don't think, or let's look here. This. I think our opponent comes in time. How about this? No, that's bad. b5 instead, and then maybe something like this in the future. At least the pawn push is ours to make, so we choose what happens and when it happens. h5 looks good as well, prevents the pawns here from moving forwards, because, well, this looks horrible. The rook comes in. Honestly, I missed this idea. This is not quite ideal, although we might be allowed to play like this. I think this works, because if this is played, we get a queen. So this, and this, and then our c5 pawn is not really hanging. So we'll have this, and we come with this threat. And then I think we have the better activity. Our king is kind of shut off by the rook here, but this rook is going to have to respond to this pawn eventually. Or is it? Well, this is a possibility as well. Then maybe this. And we could try to come in here and force the king back. Surely this is a mistake, right? This is good for us. This forces this, or we get a passed pawn that's defended. And here we're just in. There is this, but is it a threat? This might be annoying. Let me calculate. If we go here, takes, no, this is good, this is winning. Because our opponent here has to respond to our push. They can't take. So after this, I guess, we come here and we get our ideal configuration. Now our pawn here is definitely felt. rook to d6 here. Holding this, our king holds this, and we can't get infiltrated here. We could play for this maybe. If this is played, I don't think we have to respond. We just take if we get taken. Or do we? Maybe not. We'll see. h4. This looks good. Because if we get this, we win this. So this, I think, forces this, and then I think we just win here. Because this king has to stay defending this. This doesn't matter because it does not change the situation. Now we walk up here and grab this, I think. Let's come over here first and cooperate with our pawns. This, as I mentioned, does nothing. Is this a move? Takes, 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 takes. That's quite good. If this is pushed, we take and we infiltrate. If this is pushed, we take and we infiltrate. So let's go here. What does our opponent do? They have to deal with this passed pawn threat. So we get this. And now I think we just pick up all the pawns and win the game. So I think we're going to get to 1450 today, which seems quite nice because we're going to be 50 points away from our goal then once again. The king has to stay defending this. We will grab the pawn and this pawn. If this pushes, we just take. This pawn holds this. The king can't come up because we have covered the squares. Let's go like this. We'll force how do we do this? Maybe like this and this. We can play here first, I guess. Now this, this, and this maybe, and our opponent has to move. Seems decent. If this, we have, or rather if this is played, we win like this. So this is first, we come here. And if the king goes here, do we push? I guess we do, yeah. Our opponent responds by resigning. So this is another win today. We're up to 1450 ELO. Let me just quickly jump ahead onto my other account and analyze the game so we can get a decent analysis and not the free version. Rather the analysis instead of the game review, as the game review is a lot better than the standard analysis. Or the game is already evaluated here by our opponent. They analyzed it, so we'll follow. We had 82 today for an accuracy, and our opponent played with 73. I see we did have a miss, some mistakes, and a couple of inaccuracies, and so did our opponent. as well. We did have a nice game on our hands, and I'm curious to see when and how the mistakes were made. The graph here seems to indicate we made some mistakes early on, and afterwards we kind of grinded out a win. But we did blunder something here. We'll come back to that as we see in the game review here. As I mentioned here, b6 is a resource I've been picking up against this kind of London-esque, well, it is a London, against this Indian setup. So we play like this. Apparently d5 should have been played here because c5 was good, I guess, trying to prevent this, I guess. That's educational. This was horrendously bad. But why? Oh wow, this is really bad. Okay. Or is it? Is it really that bad? Well, I mean, because the engine says it is, I guess it has to be. Now this just does not work. And where's, oh, there's this as well. Yeah, okay. I see this is not quite ideal. It's not incredibly easy seeing this as that winning for white, but I guess if you see the entire line, it becomes quite obvious. This was not best. Did look at this briefly, but it did not seem as concrete to me. This was good. Should have taken with the rook. Bishop to d6. I guess the knight was just a menace, an absolute menace, which we should have dealt with. Although the difference is not big. What is the best move here? Checking. Is this a move? No. It's a fork. We come back, I guess, and play from this position. We went here, which was quite equivalent. This we pushed. And here I think I never really felt like we were in danger. I felt like we were going to win this game with our pawn majority. Which, I mean, the computer seems to agree, but apparently, which makes sense in hindsight as well, we should have played on this side with our king. Because going here, we kind of shut ourselves off from our pawn majority. The reason I went here though is because I wanted the rook on d8, pushing for this pawn. This was good for us. Apparently this is not that winning. Oh yeah, because there is some cooperation going on here in this position. But this was essentially what won us the game. From this point on, there is nothing our opponent can do. This does nothing now because, well, the rook can't target this, so still the king has to stay defending this, and we just gobble up the pawns with our own king, which we kind of did until this was played. And here I apparently misevaluated the position because of this. Oh yeah, that's really bad. Wow. I didn't see this. Luckily, our opponent did not see it either. Here, I feel like this should have never been played. Apparently, this is good as well. Our best move here was h5. which I guess it makes sense. I just thought for some reason, why give up a pawn when we can get the pawns either way? But well, what's our opponent going to do here? We just get in and we take the pawns. Well, anyways, this didn't quite happen. Blundered a draw. Our opponent luckily did not see the correct way of responding. This once again was good. And then here, I guess there is nothing to do. This was good as well. We just get in here and we win the game. Well, anyways, thanks to Pisces Französisch or something. French, baguette something. Oui, baguette for the game. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. This has been our game for today, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.